think I'm up. I'm not sure. But streaming from something else right now. Bird. Okay. Bird. This here we go. Okay. For just a little bit. um, here we go. Okay. For just a little bit. um, okay, so hello everyone, and here we go. Okay. For just a little bit to another video. Praise YAH. Okay, so hello everyone, and I want to go over um, the reason why I do not serve Christ. The God of the New Testament. Hold on. Okay. And so here's the thing. I do not like when people proselytize. So here's the thing, or try and get you to believe um, what they believe. Um, so my thing is not about proselytizing. I'm not trying to change you now. If you decide you want to serve the Most High, Yah, praise Yah. That's what's up. But again, like I said, my channel is for those who want to hear the word of Yah. If you don't agree, you're free to leave. Okay. So now that I've got that out the way, um, so yes, I get Christians will, they're really notorious for trying to convert people and trying to save people and bring them into the church and all of that. And I'm the type of person that's like, you might be trying to get this person in the church, but can you really trust this person? And my answer is no. It's even the Most High. In the Word, even in the Word, it tells us to trust no man, right? Trust no man, right? So it's like, you either sincere about serving the Creator and doing the right thing, or you're not. And it's just that simple. There's no in between. There's no, well, maybe. There's none of that. No, you're either sincere or you're not. And I know that there are a lot of our people who are in those churches and they serve um, Christ. And you got some of them that more than likely have a sincere heart and they're just around the wrong environment. They're worshiping the wrong God. Um, and they get sucked into that and then they get trapped. And then they're like, hey, what happened? Like I thought this was supposed to be y'all supposed to be Christians. We all supposed to, you know, y'all supposed to be righteous, upright, and here doing the right thing. But what they fail to realize is a lot of people, especially our people, will put on a front. They will fake it and act like they living right, and really they are not. And everybody does that, not just our people, but I'm speaking about our people because that's who I'm used to dealing with. So they will front. You see it on the news when you have these pastors get busted for doing all types of horrible things, all types of evil things, and the head of the church is sick. So if the head is sick, what's the body gonna be? And so that's why I'm like, you following an idol. You're following an idol that is in total contradiction to everything that the Most High represents. So it might not be so clear to you. I understand, because I used to be a Christian, that sometimes it might be a little frustrating and hard to let go because that's all you've ever been taught. But at the end of the day, this is not about Christ. This is about your salvation. This is about your life. So you putting your life on something, then you better really truly be able to back it up and believe it before you go out there trying to spread it to other people. You trying to tell me and trying to convince me to worship your God. You're trying to sell me your God. What I'm doing right here is totally for free. Just like we worked for our slave masters on the plantation 400 years. Well, I think we're still working for free, but they pay us now. However, because this is not any amount of work that they try to give me is not going to make up for everything and all the atrocities that were done to my people. It's just not. For me to continue to work for you is a dishonor, right? But of course, then you got to have something that you could fall back on. You got to be able to work for yourself as well, right? You got to be able to start your own business. And a lot of our people, um, we just can't seem to get along to be able to do that. Start family businesses and all of that. I know why. It's because this idol here, which I'm about to break down, is keeping us apart. It's keeping us divided. This Christian idol, this Christ, right? So the first things first, I want to talk about when Christ said that Christ wasn't coming to bring peace on earth. The first thing I want to say, talk about. which is Matthew 10 and verse 30. Let's start at verse let's start at verse 34. Yeah, 34. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household." Okay, so you mean to tell me that the God that we're supposed to be worshiping, while you're trying to convince me that I should be worshiping your God, right? You're trying to convince me that I need to accept Yahushua, Yeshua, whatever you want to call him, into my heart. And he just told me he didn't come to bring peace like my Elohim. He came to bring a sword and to divide families and to make enemies of people's households. That's what he came for, right? Then let's go to another verse, or another chapter rather, in Luke 14. Come on, come on, come on. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't own any New Testaments. I don't own the New Testament. I took the New Testament out of my Bible because I knew it was stitched into our word. So let's go to Luke 14. Okay, Luke 14, and we will start at 20, verse 25. And it says, "Now great multitudes went with him." I'm talking about Christ. Great multitudes. So he was not despised, right? Great multitudes. Um, when we get in Isaiah 53, we'll talk about all of that. But anyways, great multitudes went with him. And he turned and said to them, "If anyone comes to me and he does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple." Ooh, what? So you want me to worship a God that is not just trying to divide people up in the household, but you want me to serve a God that wants me to hate my mother and father. You want me to serve a God that wants me to hate my own children, my seed. That's the God that you expect people to want to worship? That sounds like a very hateful God to me. Okay, so then we go to Exodus 20, because Exodus 20, that's a totally different God, right? This is the actual living God that never died, the true and living God, the creator, the one that has the creation history behind it, because in the New Testament there's no such thing because Christ never created anything. Okay, so then we go to Exodus 20, and we read where the Most High actually has commandments to honor your father and your mother. The Most High in the Old Testament, Exodus 20, verse 12, tells us to honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yah, your Elohim, gives you. That's contradictory. And why is that? That's because we are talking about two different gods. Do you want me to show you the easiest, the most plain and simple way, the plainest and the most simple way that I can put it is seek ye out the book of Yah. Now, if we turn to because I wrote it down. Isaiah 34. I was going to say that too. All right. Isaiah 34 and verse 16. Let's go to Isaiah 34 and verse 16. Okay. The Most High says in Isaiah 34, verse 16, seek ye out of the book of Yah and read. There's two different gods here. You want me to tell you why there's two different gods? Because if you look where it says, if you're looking in the King James Version or really any of them, seek ye out the book of the Lord, or capital Lord, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, all caps, all caps. You want me to tell you where all caps Lord is not, where it's missing? In the New Testament. In the New Testament. You can go all throughout the Old Testament and it's capital Lord, capital Lord. Throughout the whole Old Testament, capital. In the New Testament, it's only capital L. Only capital L. And then you have lowercase o, lowercase r, lowercase d. What does that translate to? Literally, master. Or some people say that's God. But capital, all caps, that is the God. The true and living God, right? And that God, my God, our God, never speaks in the New Testament, not once. You will never see in the New Testament where it says, thus saith Yah. Only in the Old Testament. You can't convince me to worship anything or anyone other than my Creator. That's not the only thing. That's not the only thing. That's not the only thing. You also have, let's go to Deuteronomy 24 and 16. Let's go to Deuteronomy 24 and 16. Okay, so in Deuteronomy 24 and 16, it tells us when we're given laws from the Creator that the fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. So you mean to tell me when I turn to the New Testament and I read that Christ died for the sins of us all. Or it doesn't say of us all. What does it say? Let me see. Okay. It says, for I delivered in 1 Corinthians 15, 3 through 4, it says, for I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures. So, if the Most High didn't see it as a holy thing in Deuteronomy 24 for a man to be put to death for the sins of his father, or for the father to be put to death for the sins of the sons, and that every man shall be put to death for his own sins, then how does it make sense that we had a man that was put to death for us? How does that make sense? That's another thing. I just can't get down with it. It doesn't make sense to me. The Most High does not believe in human sacrifice. That's not something that the Most High believes in. When Abraham was being tested by the Most High, it was simply a test to see it. Because Abraham, yeah, mind y'all have to understand, we have been sacrificing our children since the beginning of time. That's what man has been doing. And so Abraham's father was one of those idol worshippers who worshipped Baal. He worshipped that, right? The Most High, and Abraham separated from his father. He separated from his family of idol worshippers, right? The Most High, when he told Abraham to bring Isaac up like a lamb, stopped him from killing his son because the Most High doesn't want to see you die. The Most High doesn't want to see humans die. As a matter of fact, the Most High said he gets no pleasure in seeing you, the wicked man, die. Let's go there. Let's talk about that. Let's go to Ezekiel 33. Let's go to Ezekiel 33. And then verse 11. When the Most High says, say unto them, as I live, saith Yah Elohim, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked. Boom. I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked. So if the Most High doesn't even have pleasure in the death of the wicked, why would he have pleasure in putting his son to death? How does that even make sense? The Most High says, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn ye from your evil ways. For why will you die, O house of Israel? Right? Therefore, you son of man, say unto the children of your people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turns from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sins. So let's go to verse 14. Let's go down to verse 14, and it says, no, actually, let's go down to verse 15. And it says, if the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life, without committing iniquity, he shall surely live, he shall not die. None of his sins that he has committed shall be mentioned unto him. He has done that which is lawful and right. He shall surely live. So you don't need Christ to die for you if you just turn from your wickedness. Christ is for the wicked. And not because he's going to save you, but because it's a snare. Christ is a trap. Christ is not for the righteous. The Most High already told you what was um, required of you to live without Christ even being involved. Not even a mention of it. It's as simple as that. It's really as simple as that. And we can break down some more stuff. You know, I don't really like going over this that much because I feel like a lot of us should be coming up out of this idol worship by now. We have been serving this God since we've been in slavery. And there's so many things. Look, we so many things we've been doing over the last 400 years that we've been under this oppressor's rule. Like worshiping Christ is one of the things we've been doing the whole time we were on a plantation, but Christ has not done anything for our people. But we just continue to call on an idol, the idol that your oppressor brought to you. Okay. I mean, you have to think about what got you in captivity in the first place. Why are we in captivity? We have to question ourselves. We have to ask these things. If we never ask these things, how will we know? Right? So then you go, and that's why to me it kind of gets tiring when I encounter Christians that are trying to change my belief system. It's because um, I've gone over this over and over and over again, and it's almost like talking to a wall, a brick wall. It's like nothing is being heard at all because they're so busy trying to get me to bow down to their idol. And I keep telling Christians, I don't serve idols. I don't worship idols. I worship the true and living God. And when I try to tell you about the true and living God, you get upset. You don't want to hear it. You get angry. Well, I can be just as impatient with you. I can come at you and I can, not want to hear anything that you have to say about your idol. I didn't come up on you trying to change you, and I don't expect anyone to come up on me trying to change me. All of us have been given life. All of us have been given a choice. And you chose to go that way. I I'm going to continue to keep going this way. You keep going that way. I'm going to keep going this way. And there's nothing that anybody can do about that but the Creator Himself. That's it. That's it. So, you have people come at you asking you who you don't worship Yeshua and this, that, and the third, and guys looking at you because they're like, oh, you supposed to be married, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do that. Listen, sir, I do not follow the doctrines of man. I do what is right. I follow the Creator. Period. And the Creator sorts everything else out. Well, a lot of people don't understand if there's only a remnant, and this is what I say even to guys that claim that they're, walking right, doing the right thing, call themselves Hebrew and all of that. I say the same thing and I'll say it again. If there's only a remnant going back home, why would I risk my chances with some random? Why? And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You're more than likely not a part of the remnant. I don't know if I'm a part of the remnant even. So I choose to stay to myself and with my Elohim. And that's the end of that. So, and that's just the truth. And if you don't believe it, you just don't believe it. That's not going to affect me any. Look, I don't care. I really don't care. The only thing that I care about is seeing things change for the good, seeing things go right, seeing things in the earth happen that's right, not hearing a horrible story, not hearing a horrible news story about murder and rape and robbery. Can we hear some of those stories in the news while we're worrying about marriages? Can we worry about getting the earth right? The only way to get the earth right is to get your heart right. We want to bring a happy family into a miserable, hateful, evil world. Who? No one in their right mind. Common sense will tell you that. So, I just be writing stuff down because I don't want to forget about it and lose it. But, need a little bit more order over here. Just a little bit more organization in my notes, okay? So, let's talk about the heart then, right? Let's talk about Jeremiah 17 and verse 9. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" Who can know it? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? How do we know? How do we know that the heart is desperately wicked? Let's go to Proverbs 21 and 2. Matter of fact, let's start in verse 1 where it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of Yah, as the rivers of water. He turns it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. But Yah, you see the capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D for Lord, that's the creator. The creator pondereth the hearts. So we just read where the heart is deceitful above all things, it's desperately wicked. And here it tells you every man, or every way, sorry, of a man, and that's including all of us, men, women, all of us, children, all of us, man, humankind. Because kids are not nice to each other in school either. They bully each other, and then we say, oh, kids are just mean. That's just how kids are. No, that's not right. Because a kid shouldn't get picked on because they're trying to do the right thing. We have a bad habit of raising our households like that. Like that's normal. Kids should not single out. Why do they have this mindset to do that? Is it because we're giving birth to a bunch of bad seeds? Or are the parents just not raising them to do the right thing by example? Because there shouldn't be so many bullies in our schools. They shouldn't be bullying the kids who want to do the right thing. That's not right. And then we turn around and say we're right in our own eyes. Every man is right in his own eyes. But how do you know that you're truly right? We don't. You have to have the creator, because the creator ponders the heart. Think about the things that come out your mouth. Think about your actions, the things that you do. Are the things that we do right? Not all the time, right? Not all the time. So to always feel like we're right and say it with our chest, we got our chest out. Like we just know we right. I don't understand that. I know why we do that. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And then you feel like this person needs to be molded or shaped how I want them to be. Change this person around. Get this person to do what I want them to do. Take whatever this person has because you want to use whatever gifts or talents this person brings or whatever the case. It's not right because your heart's not right. No matter how much you're trying to convince me my heart is not right, your heart is not right. Yah, the creator, ponders the heart. The creator does. So at, we go back to, let's go to, because I was just here just before I got on here, 1 Samuel 16. 1 Samuel 16 and 7. And it tells us, but Yah said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance. That's the appearance, how somebody looks on the outside, right? Or on the height of his stature. Oh, you too short. You too short. Right? How we treat each other as people, right? We look on the outside. So because I have refused him, for Yah sees not as man sees. For man looks on the outward appearance, but Yah looks on the heart. And that's the problem with people. They look on the outward appearance. They don't look at what's inside. They don't care about what's inside. They just see what you look like. That's it. Okay, so she's pretty. Maybe she's not so pretty. He's handsome. He's tall, muscular. Maybe the other guy is short. He's not so handsome. So what? The dog is cute. The cat is cute. Birds are beautiful. Alligators don't look so friendly. Who cares? Light skin, dark skin. Who gives a crap? Who cares about any of these things? Man is caught up in image. Image, black, white. It's all about vanity, it's all about image. But then when the image fades away, then what? Then what does it become? Oh, now I'm old, so that makes me ugly now? Or you're pretty to be however old you are? What? Why? When does it end? When does the vanity of man end? When he dies? Is that when our vanity ends? That's silly. Because that means you wasted your whole life, pretty much, worrying about image. So you didn't really do anything deep on the planet. We didn't really do anything to try to help each other. We didn't really do anything to try to help our world. Now, I'm not saying you don't have people out here doing that. You have people out here that are wonderful people. I don't know their hearts. Only the Most High knows their heart. But I can see that they have good actions. They have the right actions. They do the right thing. And they get very little recognition, because the most of the glory and most of the fame goes into vanity. So that tells you where people's priorities are. That's the first part. That's the first part. But then when all hell breaks loose and things start falling apart, like you see the system crashing and the economy's all messed up, economy crashing, all this stuff, now we want to panic. Where are all the good people? Oh my gosh. Fix the world. What's happening? Everything's on fire. Now you want to look towards someone who's doing the right thing. The upright get laughed to scorn. You have people out here trying to do the right thing every day, and they get laughed to scorn. Job 12. Job 12. The word already tells us. Verse 4. I am as one mocked of his neighbor, who calls upon God, who calls upon the Most High, who calls upon the Creator, and he answers him. The just, upright man is laughed to scorn. Like it's a joke, like it's funny. They don't get taken seriously. They don't get taken seriously. They don't fit in anywhere because the world is so wicked. You can go out there, you can try to do the things of the world, you can try to do things that other people out there are doing. Trust me, I know, because I've been there. And guess what? It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It was to my detriment. It was to my detriment to live in vanity. It was to my detriment to do the whole, oh, I'm a pretty woman, so I need to try to use this to my advantage. It was to my detriment. You understand? It wasn't for me because it wasn't in my heart. It wasn't in my heart. You can go out there and sin. You can go out there and do wicked things. But if it's not in your heart, it's just not in your heart. Some people, it's in their heart, like ingrained. in their heart to do wicked. Look at Trump. Look at Elon. It's in his heart to do wicked. You can see it through their actions. They enjoy it. They don't need money to survive. You see? So they're doing it by choice. I know a lot of our people, they do things and they feel like they have to do them because they're trying to survive. They're trying to eat, you know? And they don't look at it like it's wrong. I got to do what I got to do. I got to get mine, so I'm going to take yours. I'm gonna, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Right? It's not right. We know it ain't right, but we do it anyway. But you look at people like these billionaires who don't need the money, they don't need the resources, they don't even need the fame, but they do it anyways. Tells you what's in their heart, right? That's why they say money brings out the real you, right? It brings it out. Power brings out the real you. And so we let this beast, this monster take over. And they did it through idolatry. They did it through idolatry because every man is right in his own eyes. And when you're not worshiping the true and living creator, well, you're going to do whatever you feel is right. Whatever I feel is right is right. This is what it is. And if you're not doing this, then you're wrong. And then you're going to try to convince me to change over and worship your God. And you look in these churches and you see it's a big old fashion show. It's all about who looks the best, Sunday best, dress the best, who's looking good, smelling the best, and all of this. It's all about us. It's all about our own vanities. The worship of man. That's what it's about. And then we wonder why the world is in the state that it's in today. Well, it's this way because we choose not to turn from our wickedness. We choose to just keep following our hearts and doing what we think is right. And some of us are probably suicidal. Some of us are probably like, I'm gonna die and I don't care. I'm gonna do this because I just feel like, hey, that's what you want to do, right? That's what they want to do. That's what you want to do. I can't even be mad at you. That's what you want to do, but don't hurt no kids. Don't hurt the innocent creatures and innocent animals out there. You know? Don't go out there just attacking innocent people. Don't do that. That's all I can say. And I'm not even mad at you. I'm not. I can't even be mad at you for that. It's certain people that it's certain types because I know how to separate things because I'm not a Christian. Oh, you're a sinner. Get behind me, like Satan. Don't do like. I'm not gonna hang with you because I don't agree with your lifestyle, but we just agree to disagree, right? And we go our separate ways. It's as simple as that. I'm not about to be hanging that over somebody's head and being like, oh, you're this and you're that and trying to judge them and you gonna go to hell. And the first thing somebody want to say is somebody going to hell. Like, who are you? Who are you? And who are you to say this? This person can be a prophet of the Most High that you're talking to. They just don't even know it yet. Don't you know that all the prophets started out as regular people? All of the prophets. They were just in the midst of the people. So I'm not about to sit up here, trying to make somebody feel bad about themselves because if anything, all of that negativity and anger and all of that I have about a sin, it's gonna go in me. It's gonna be for myself because I need to get myself right. I need to get myself right. Now, it's certain people, like I was saying, there's certain people I hate. And then there's certain people that, they just do what they do. That's what those people do. But it is people that, certain types of people that go around hurting innocent people. It's something about that spirit right there, hurting innocence, that I just can't deal with at all. Right? I can't deal with that at all. I absolutely hate it. I abhor it. But this person over here, you know, they might have a crack problem and they just out there on the street, and that's what they're doing to get by in their lives, and that's how they cope with certain things, and I hope they come out of it. Right? I pray that God guides them to a better way of life. But to just sit there and to treat everybody like, you know, the Pharisees, as the Christians say, because the Christians like to ridicule people for really being upright, for really doing the right thing. So you can't tell me that you're serving a righteous God when your whole congregation is about ridiculing the upright. If somebody really wants to do right, you'll ridicule that person. If they're not a part of the gossip that's going on in there and all the little popularity contests and all of that, they will bully that person right up out the congregation. Or they stay in the congregation, I don't know. But it happens. It happens everywhere. And then people want to act like they're, what I'm doing is right. Because I said so. And then want to try to convince you what you're doing is wrong. And you need to change. You didn't accept my God into your heart this day. You going to hell. You can't control other people. That's the first part, right? You can't control anybody but yourself. That's the first. You can't even control your children. Your children are still going to do what the children going to do. Your children, when they become teenagers, there's some of them even younger, they still going to go out there. They're going to do whatever they want to do. They're not going to listen to you. When they go off to college, they're not going to listen to you. So what makes you think that you can change a stranger who doesn't know you from a can of paint? I trust no man. So then, let's go to Hosea 6. That's a nice one. I like that one. Hosea 6 in verse 6. It says, "For I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of Elohim more than burnt offerings." So let's start from the very beginning. Come and let us, in verse 1, it says, "Come and let us return unto Yah, for he has torn, and he will heal us. He has smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. And the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. So you mean to tell me this is what Christ stole from the Old Testament? Is this what you mean to tell me, y'all? Check this out, y'all. And you're not even a horrible. Listen, I don't want no Christian to think that they're a horrible, horrible person because you're just a human just like me. I'm just a human just like you. We all on this journey together. We all trying to figure this thing out. But respectfully, back up. Seriously, if you don't want to consider what somebody else has to say, then why should they consider what you have to say? You see? So then look at this, because I used to be a Christian. Most of us did. Most of us. So check this out. It says in verse 1, come and let us return unto Yah, the Creator. For he has torn and he will heal us. This is us. This is plural. Plural. He has torn and he will heal us. This is not me, me, me. This is talking about a nation, right? He has smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. In the 3rd day, he will raise us up, and we will live in his sight. That's the 3 days resurrection. You see that? That's us. That's Israel. Verse 3, then shall we know if we follow on to know Yah. His going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as a morning cloud, and as the early dew it goes away. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth. And thy judgments are as the light that goes forth. For I desired mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of Elohim more than burnt offerings. But they like men have transgressed the covenant. There have they dealt treacherously against me. You see, it's us. Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity and is polluted with blood. And as troops of robbers wait for a man, so the company of priests murder in the way by consent. Priests, y'all, murder, for they commit lewdness. Nothing has changed with those who call themselves leaders in our community as far as pastors and ministers go. They commit lewdness, man. You know they commit lewdness. You see it in the church. So stop trying to drag me in that cesspool, because that's what it is. Don't try to drag other people in that mess. Unsuspecting victims. Verse 10 says, I have seen an horrible thing in the house of Israel. There is the whoredom of Ephraim. Israel is defiled. Also, O Judah, he has set a harvest for thee when I return the captivity of my people. See? Then let's go to Deuteronomy 12. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 12. Because we're going to point out a lot of reasons why you just, I just cannot go backwards. I only move forward when it comes to seeking the Creator. You can only move forwards. You can't move backwards. I've been a Christian. You can't convince me about anything about Christianity because I've been there. I don't go backwards. In life, we're not supposed to move backwards. We're supposed to move forwards. So in Deuteronomy 12 and 23, the Most High tells us, only be sure that you eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and you may not eat the life with the flesh. You shall not eat it. You shall pour it upon the earth as water. You shall not eat it, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, when you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yah. Only your holy things which you have, and your vows you shall take, and go unto the place which Yah shall choose. Take it and go to the place where Yah shall choose. Check this out. I'm about to make a point real quick with this. And you shall offer your burnt offerings. This is a burnt offering, a sacrifice. The flesh and the blood upon the altar of Yah your Elohim. And the blood of your sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of Yah your Elohim. And you shall eat the flesh. Why? Because we eat animals, right? We eat animals, y'all. So then, why then did Christ say in John verse 6, or John chapter 6, verse 54 or 53, then Christ said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh. He said, I say unto you. This is what Christ said. This is what Christ said. I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Oh, so he just went against everything the Creator just said. The Most High said, you're not supposed to eat the life. Then he goes into verse 54 and says, whoso eateth my flesh and drink my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eats my flesh and drinks my blood dwells in me, and I in him. The Most High did not require us to eat any blood or drink any flesh in a literal sense or a symbolic sense, or in any way. Did the Most High tell us to drink blood? The Most High never tells us to eat blood. It's against the Most High. As a matter of fact, not only did the Most High tell you not to eat the blood, but the Most High told you what to do with the blood when you pour it out upon the altar. He told you what to do with the blood. But then you go to Christ in the New Testament and he tells you to drink the blood. You cannot tell me that this is the same God. You can't convince me that this is the same God, because I know it's not the same God. Then let's go to Isaiah 14. Let's go to Isaiah 14. Let's go to Isaiah 14 and let's go to verse 11. It says, your pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of your vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, Son of the morning. Let's read that again. How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How are you cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? He weakened the nations. You see? Then you go to, and you have to look at the world now, and you can't say the world is too strong right now, with Christ being the number one God or idol being served on the planet today. The earth is not strong. So now let's go to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation. 22. Let's go to Revelation 22 and verse 16. It says, I, Christ, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. He said, go tell the churches this. I am the root and the offspring of David, which we're going to break down, and the bright and morning star. I thought we just read that that was Lucifer. I thought that we just read that that was Lucifer. So it seems that we have been bamboozled. We have been tricked. This is a God who has been given to us by a nation who hates us. And look up Marcion. This is a name that I had to learn about. Marcion, 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 right? Was known as the son of Satan. And he wrote the first New Testament. Do you know who wrote the first New Testament? Look up Marcion, Marcion. He hated the children of Israel. He hated the God of the Old Testament. So he made the New Testament attach to our book. To the book of the black people who have been scattered to the four corners of the earth through slavery. The Old Testament is our book, right? So then we go to and another thing about Christianity. Christianity is the worship of the dead. Because God never died. God never died. So Christ is a strange God, according to Psalm 81 and 9, we worship strange gods, and Christ is one of them, one of the gods that our forefathers worshipped. And a lot of our people still worship today. So it says that God came down in the form of a man in Christianity, right? It tells us God came down in the form of a man. Oh man, how did I put this? So he can feel what men feel. Let me look for this verse. It just angers me. See, it's not so much that my people anger me as much as it angers me that we have been tricked into worshiping the God of our oppressor. That's what angers me. That's what angers me, because it's frustrating when we don't realize what's keeping us divided, what's keeping us apart as a people from truly growing and taking back over, right? And doing right things in the earth and not causing destruction, like this current ruler. So let's go to like doesn't have, that's right, Philippians 2 and 8. Yes, let's go to Philippians 2 and 8. Where it says, and being found in fashion, here it is, Philippians verse 2, verse 6. So who being in the form of God, right? As a matter of fact, let's start at verse 5. It says, let this mind be in you. So they're trying to get inside your mind with the Christianity. It's psychological. They get up in your soul with it. They trying to take over your mind. So he got you saying, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ, who being in the form of God, listen to all this blasphemy, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. He thought it not equal. Listen to this. He thought it was not robbery to be equal with God, when the Most High said, none is beside me. None is beside me. Do we remember that? Verse, yes. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 5. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 5. The Most High says, I am Yah. Capital, all capital letters. I am the creator. The Most High says, I am Yah. And there is none else. There is no God beside me. That's the Old Testament. That's the Black Testament. God said, there is no God beside me. I girded you, though you have not known me. The Most High said, you have not known him. We have not known the true and living God. Because we have been taken away in captivity for centuries. But you know what? It's never too late to seek the Creator. It's never too late. No matter how old you are, no matter your nation, gender, none of that. It doesn't matter. Because the Most High, remember, the Most High don't look on your appearance. The Most High looks at your heart. The Most High don't look at all that other stuff that man looks at. So then let's go back to, I'm sorry, y'all. Let's go back to Philippians 2 and let's keep reading. It says in verse 7, but made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant and was made in the likeness of men. I mean, y'all, this just has to be something right here. Just think about it. Don't get angry. Think about this. Doesn't this sound like a man trying to insert himself in the position of God? Just think about how it sounds. It says, but made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant and was made in the likeness of men. That's blasphemy, because the Most High said man was made in the likeness of God. So you said the opposite. Now let's go to Genesis 6. The Most High, let me show you something. The Most High doesn't have to make himself a man. Because in Genesis verse 6, you know what the Most High said? And let's start at verse 5. The Most High said, and God, Elohim, the Most High, saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Why would the Most High want to take on an evil heart, first of all? Why would the Most High lower himself? Why would the Most High want to have the thoughts of men when it's continually wicked? Evil can't be next to the Most High. Sin, you can't be in front of the Most High, and you're full of wickedness. So why would the Most High lower himself to be in the midst of wickedness? Yeah, let's go there after I finish this. Okay, so verse 6, it says, and it repents Yah that he has made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yah said, I will destroy man. The Most High never said I was going to become a man. He said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, because man only had thoughts of continual wickedness. It was always evil. So the Most High remedied that by destroying man, not becoming a man. Do you understand? This is the creator we're talking about. Something that created you. It's not going to become you. It made you. Do you want to become the thing that you have produced? Does that even sound right? That don't even sound right. You want to be you because you made this. You created this. Whatever this is, you created it. You're not going to become it. Okay. It's like you make AI robots, right? You got AI robots. Now I want to be a robot so that I can be programmed and I can have man program me and I can be like the robots. Like, no. No. You created the robot. You made the robots. Seriously? Come on, people. This is a man clearly in the New Testament. That's clearly a man in Philippians 2 trying to insert himself in the position of God. And that's why when they make you worship Christ, they make him white. They make him European. because they want you to worship that image, right? So then we go back to Philippians. Because I showed you the Most High, he'll destroy you before he becomes you. I promise you that. He will destroy you before he lowers himself to become you. I promise you that. So it says in verse 8, and being found in fashion as a man, right? Oh, wait, there was another one I wanted to go back to before I finish Philippians. The point that I wanted to make, that was from Genesis 6, when we were talking about how the Most High, you won't even be in the midst of the Most High in your sins. Isaiah 59 and 2 tells us, in Isaiah 59 and 2, it says, but your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. So if the Most High is not hearing your sins, he's not hearing, well, he's not hearing your prayers when you're living in sin and wickedness, when you're doing those things, right? The Most High is not hearing your prayer like that, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't still receive things, because a lot of people, they think, oh, that was Christ. Christ answered my prayer. Christ did that. But it's all about vanity. It's all about vanity. Is it ever a time of life and death? How many lives has Christ saved from death? Because Christ did not save himself from death. Because we all read the story. Christ died. So, aside from materialistic things, can we say that Christ has stopped all of the evil going on in the world and the harming of innocents in the world? Can we say that Christ has stopped these things? No, because they're still happening. We're calling on who we think is God, who a lot of people think is God, right? But it's not really God. And so horrible things continue to happen in the earth. Just because you band-aid something with something that's materialistic, or you patch something up, doesn't mean that the wound is healed. Because when we open that wound back up, baby, it's wide open. It's got infections in it and all types of things. Because we haven't really healed. The world is wounded. The world needs healing. But we're still calling on our idols. And the Most High is allowing it. Because that's what man wants. That's what man wants. And you also have a choice, and I know it might sound harsh, but if you got a choice to take yourself out if you don't like living in this world, right? You can take out yourself. That's how much freedom you have. You can say, you know what? I hate this. I'm just going to take all these pills and overdose. And that's it. And just end it all. You can just end it painlessly. End it all. Right? You sure can. So you can't say that the Most High it has no mercy. No. The Most High made earth for those who want life, but there are those who want to harm others and do wickedly and don't think that we deserve that, or we don't have that right to just want life. Like, that's wrong. We can't just want to own our own and just have our own. You have to always want to be a slave to this system and work for me and do this and that and give me all your time and your life's energy. That's the current state of the world, right? You can't deny that, right? But yeah, that's how I look at that. That's his God. That is that evil ruler's God, and that is his mentality. All of that. He wants to insert himself in the position of God, right? Has a God complex, and that is just, that's what that is. And the Most High also tells us that the Most High is going to come back and destroy that evil ruler, right? Because that evil ruler is also just a man, and we shouldn't be afraid of man. That man dies, man withers away, all men bleed, right? So our sins, our iniquities separate us. In Isaiah 59, verse 2, it's separated between you and your Elohim. Your sins have hid his face from you. So the Most High is not going to lower himself to be in the midst of evil, wicked men sinning and being a part of that. Because the Most High already told you how the Most High wants things to be run on the Most High's planet. Because this is the Creator's planet. It's not ours. We have dominion, but we didn't create it. This is something else's creation, and we're being very disrespectful to that creation. And all of us are guilty. So, let's go to Ezekiel 28 and 2. Okay, so in Ezekiel verse 1, it says, Ezekiel 28 verse 1 says, the word of Yah came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith Yah Elohim, because your heart is lifted up, and you have said, I am God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet you are a man and not God. You're not the creator. Though you set your heart as the heart of God. You see? So the Most High is telling you right here that man and God don't go together. It don't mix. It's like oil and water. As a matter of fact, it can't even be like, it's like stars in the ocean, because they can't even touch. They don't even touch. Man and God, it's not, it don't work like that. Man is not God, and God is not a man. As a matter of fact, the Most High tells us God is not a man that he should lie. And that's in Numbers 23:19. I'm just waiting for this. Computers, y'all. Computers. Okay. Numbers 23. That's why I gotta pull out my book, because I ain't got time to wait for all that. All right. So Numbers 23 and 19 says, Elohim is not a man that he should lie. neither the Son of Man, that he should repent. Has he said, and shall he not do it? Or has he spoken, and shall he not make it good? So the Most High tells you he's not a man or the Son of Man, that he should repent. The Most High is not a man. The Creator is not a man. We are men. That is what we are. The Creator is not man, right? So we get it twisted. We want to bring God down to our level, right? So that we can do what we want to do, because we don't really want to go by what God tells us to do, because we are all right in our own eyes, right? So we just all do as thou wilt, and we see where that gets us. Look at the world today. Everybody just doing what they want to do. And yeah, they call that, they call these laws in all these different places, but the types of laws that are enforced are not the Most High's laws. Those are not the laws that are enforced. The laws that are enforced are the laws that keep the rich rich. Those are the laws that are enforced. You're gonna pay that PPP loan back type stuff, right? Those are the enforced laws, right? So, and they should pay the PPP loans back. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, because I mean, that's people's money and all that, of course. But I'm saying the laws that are enforced are usually always has something to do with money. You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at? It's usually something that has to do with finance. Because all the other laws, sometimes you have laws that just are just not enforced, especially in our community. Nobody really cares, right? Nobody really cares. So, yeah, we can keep on living like this. We can keep on everybody just doing what they want to do. There's no, the Most High involved. We're not going to involve the Creator. We're just going to do things how we want to do things, and this is how we're going to do it. And that's what exactly the word tells us we would be like, anyways, because we didn't want the Creator to rule over us. We wanted a man to rule over us. We let the Creator know that we didn't want the Creator to rule over us. We want a man to rule over us. That's why we worship men till this day. Right? So in Numbers 23, verse 19, it just confirms that the Most High is not a man. The Most High is letting you know that, setting the record straight. Let's get one thing straight. Yah is not a man. How many times do we have to say this? Well, then you go to uh, 1 Timothy. Let's go to 1 Timothy and chapter 2, verse 5. It says, "For there is one God and one mediator between God and men." And it says, the man Christ Jesus. Why did he just insert himself again, y'all? Do you see where the insertions are? It's an insertion. He's inserting himself. He's inserting himself in the New Testament. He's pulling stuff out of the Old Testament that's convenient to then insert himself in the New Testament. Because in the Old Testament, the Most High doesn't mention him. So he has to insert himself. Right? It calls Christ a man. The man Christ. But the Most High never said he was going to be a man, or make himself a man, or send his only begotten Son. Because then we go to Exodus 4. Let's go to Exodus 4. Exodus 4. Let's go to Exodus 4 and verse 22. And what does the Most High say in Exodus 4, verse 22? It says, "And you shall say." Now, no. Let's start at verse 21, because you know what? You know what? We want to put an emphasis on when Yah is speaking and when somebody else is speaking, because we got to get this straight, right? So Yah is speaking in verse 21. Yah says, it says, and Yah says unto Moses, the Creator says unto Moses, when you go to return into Egypt, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in your hand. But I will harden his heart, and he shall not let the people go. And verse 22 says, and you shall say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yah, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. So you mean to tell me that Christ is not the only begotten son mentioned in John 3:16? The Most High says in Exodus, the Old Testament, Torah. In Torah, are you going to put a New Testament over Torah? The Most High says in Exodus chapter 4, verse 22, Israel is my son. It says, thus saith Yah right before that. Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Israel. And you want to convince me to worship an idol claiming to be the only son of the Creator. Doesn't even mention Israel as the firstborn. It just says Christ is the only begotten son. I will never put another God over my Creator. I will never. You know why? You want to know another reason why? Because let's go to Exodus 20. Let's go to Exodus 20. Let's go to Exodus 20 and let's go to verse 1. And it says, and Elohim spake all these words. The Most High spoke all these words, saying, I am the Creator, your God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt. That was that captivity, right? Out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall have no other gods before me. It's plain and simple. It's in plain English. You shall have no other gods before me. That's the first commandment. The very first commandment. And why do you think it's the first commandment? Because it's the most important commandment. Because when you don't put other gods before the Creator, everything else falls in line. That's how that goes. When you put all these other strange gods before the Creator, guess what? And you're definitely worshiping something. Whatever it is you're putting all your time and your energy and all your focus into, and it's not temporary, but it's something that's a lifestyle that you do, and that's what you spend all your time meditating doing. That's what you do. That's what you meditate on. That is what you worship. That is what you praise. It is. So, and everyone has some type of a spirituality, right? And yes, we are spiritual beings. That's why we always find something. We always find something. Unless you're dead, you're going to find something to worship. You're going to find something to praise. You're going to find something that you reverence or you honor and you put over everything else. That's all people. whether you worship man or whatever it is that you worship. So that's the first commandment, right? And hold on, let me go back. Okay. So we know, and let's go to Ezekiel 18 because I just want to reiterate this. Ezekiel 18 and verse 20, where it says, "The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteous of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he has committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live. He shall not die." So this is talking about life and death. Life and death. Life and death. You cannot die for somebody else's sin as a sacrifice. Do you understand? As a sacrifice, as someone who is going to just wash away all of your sins. You can't do that with people. It doesn't work like that. Even though we try and we do it, we still, the more people you sacrifice, let me tell you right now, if you join the Illuminati and you're killing your cousins and your neighbors and all that, listen, you're adding to your sin. That's what you're doing. You're adding to your wickedness. The more people that you continue killing, the more you're adding on to your wickedness. And you need to turn from your wickedness. You're not making it any better for yourself by thinking that, oh, if I sacrifice this person, this is gonna. I know a lot of people do it for riches and fame and all of that, but think about your life. You know, you might want to think about your life. You might want to consider, you don't have to, but you might want to consider your life, you know, because the Most High tells us every man's going to be put to death for his own sin, meaning you will not be a part of the fifth kingdom. You won't be a part of the fifth kingdom if you don't stop what you're doing. And there will be a fifth kingdom, and the fifth kingdom is going to be brought about by YAH. It doesn't matter what uh these other countries think they're doing. They're trying to rush the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. But no other country, I don't care if it's Russia, I don't care if it's China, I don't care who it is, they are not going to be the ones to establish the fifth kingdom. The Most High will establish the fifth kingdom through his servant David. The Most High is going to establish the fifth kingdom. Period. There is nobody that can. You see America is crumbling. You see the economy is crashing. You see all these things happening. Listen, after this kingdom crumbles, because this is the fourth kingdom, after this kingdom crumbles, it's over, y'all. There is no more. There is no more wicked kingdom. Wicked kingdoms are over after that. The Most High is not a liar. The Most High is not a liar. It doesn't matter how things are looking. It doesn't matter if it looks like, oh, BRICS is about to take over. BRICS, it looks like BRICS is going to be the new world order. It's going to be another country that's going to take. That's calling the Most High a liar. That's calling the Most High a liar. And the Most High is not a man that he should lie. The Most High already told you there will be no more kingdoms run by the wicked after the fourth kingdom. It will be the fifth kingdom, and that is the last kingdom. That is the forever kingdom. Period. Let's read Daniel 7, because now I want to talk about the fifth kingdom. Let's read Daniel 7. Let me write something quick. Okay. All right. So, Daniel 7. It says, and in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were upon it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like eyes, the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, the Creator, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. So you can't tell me that the first man wasn't black. If man was made in the image of and likeness of the Creator, you can't tell me the first man wasn't black, especially with woolly hair, pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. First people were black, period. The first woman on the earth was black. The first man on the earth was black and will always be black. Verse 10, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld, then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld, even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days. And they brought him near before him, King David. I'll read that part. I'll go to that verse after I finish. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and tongues, languages, should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. Four kings. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So it's four kingdoms. And then the last kingdom, that's going to be run by the Hebrews. That's why it looks like all of this stuff is coming true, and prophecy and stuff in the Bible is actually happening, because it is. It is. So then it says in verse 19, then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms. So I don't understand why we can't see. And it says, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. You can't tell me that that's not this current system that we're living in that did that. This current kingdom. It devoured the whole earth and tread it down and break it in pieces. Are you telling me that's not what America has done, is doing, and will continue to do until it falls? That's what's happening. That's what we see in the news. You can't deny it. You see it. You see it. Even you got everybody talking about it. People on social media, on everybody's talking about it. Because this is what the world is watching. This kingdom is the same kingdom that devoured the whole earth and shred it down and break it in pieces. This fierce kingdom, the fourth kingdom. In the 10 horns in verse 24, out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall swear out, or I'm sorry, shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and a times and a dividing of time, right? This is the same kingdom that changed the times and changed the laws, right? They changed the Most High's laws. They changed the times. They're always changing time and messing with the times, or thinking to change the times, because they can't change time and they can't change the laws, but it says they think to do these things. So that's why, they mess with the times that, are on the clocks, and change the laws and all of that. So verse 26 says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume, and to break, to destroy it until the end, or unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me. But I kept the matter in my heart. Praise Yah. So that's something. The Most High tells us, though, the Most High's kingdom is the last kingdom. That is the only kingdom that's going to stand. The fifth kingdom. And so all of these leaders, these world leaders and all these, they can all rush to see who's going to be the next world superpower and who's going to be the next ruler and this and that. And they're all hungry for power and all of that. And the Most High shall prevail in the end. And that's just what it is. Period. So let's go to where I told you I was going to go back and explain how King David is that man. Right? King David, not Christ. Okay, so let's go to Jeremiah 30. Let's go to Jeremiah 30 and verse 9. Hold on, let me see if I actually already wrote this down. All right, Jeremiah 30 and verse 9. It says, well, let's start at verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yah of hosts. This is Yah talking, a creator. All capital letters. Capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D. Of hosts. The creator of hosts. That I will break his yoke from off your neck, and will burst your bonds. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve Yah. They shall serve the Creator, their Elohim, and David, their King, whom I will raise up unto them. Right. You see that? So it says David their king. That's who they shall serve. So the Most High is not going to put, and it says in Daniel 7, verse 14, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all nations, all people, all nations, or all nations, or sorry, y'all, dyslexia, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. We just read that in Daniel 7 and verse 14. Shall serve him. Then we go to Jeremiah 30, verse 9, and it says, but they shall serve Yah their Elohim and David their king. So that is the Son of Man that Daniel saw coming with the clouds of heaven. It says David in Jeremiah 30, verse 9, is the one that they shall serve, the Son of Man. Because Christ does not claim to be the Son of Man. Christ, he claims to be the Son of God. And he claims to be the only Son of God. But then he contradicts himself. It contradicts itself all in the New Testament. And then it calls Christ a man. And it says, the man Christ. So he can't make up his mind about what it is he wants to be. That's the error of men, right? The error of men, you'll see it in Scripture. You'll see it in the New Testament. You will see the error of men. You don't see the error of God, the error of Elohim, right? And the Most High changes not. So if the Most High never mentioned Christ yesterday, today, or the future, then why would he be mentioned in a totally separate book? If the Most High never mentioned him yesterday, today, or in the future in the Old Testament, why would he be mentioned in the New Testament? You have to ask yourself these questions. Seriously ask, why? Why? Why is it necessary that I have to go through an idol to serve my Creator? Because knowing that you are worshiping an idol, or unknowingly, you're cutting yourself off from the true and living God. You're cutting yourself off by putting anything before the Creator. Because the Creator is your life source. The Creator is your life source. So when you put something, of course, when you put something before the Creator is going to let you just go on about your way, and you're killing yourself slowly, but you're killing yourself. I mean, we can talk about life and death, and we can talk about all those things about how the Most High is going to swallow up death, and the Most High is going to disannul our covenant with death that we made, and all of that. And people will laugh it to scorn because it's like, oh, people can't live forever. People can't even live for 1,000 years anymore. But we used to. So it wasn't laughable then. We used to live longer in ancient times. But now we're dying at rapid rates, and the world is so polluted, we're dying in our youth. And we're crying and laughing and acting like it's impossible for the Most High to wipe away death. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. And you can go study that on your own as well. And the Most High is going to wipe away death. I mean, yeah. Who wouldn't want to live forever? The Most High created us to live forever. We were not the first and the last, but we gonna ride it out to the end. There is no end. We keep going. This is how we progress. We as humans are so simple minded. It's like we don't think past our own noses, like, and what we know. Like, what about the possibilities of the things we don't know? Like how far the earth could have been by now had we not been so destructive, if we were more progressive, as we like to say. We like to call ourselves progressive, but we're not truly progressive. We're not progressing. We're dying, and the earth is dying. Isaiah 51:6 tells us the earth will wax old. Matter of fact, let me go there. We got Isaiah 51 and verse 6. It says, "Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth beneath, for the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished." They can't take away what the Most High has already done, no matter what man tries to do to try to convince you to go with the grain. Just don't go against the grain. Do what everybody else is doing. Take on these ideologies and that and this, that, and the third. Honey, sweetheart, you do you. I'm going to do me. And I'm going to continue to do me. Why? Because me doing me is serving the true and living Creator. Whether you believe it or not. But that's that, you know. People choose, they do what they do. But you're not going to change me. I have to keep saying that because it needs to be very clear. You're not going to change me. All right. So let's go to Isaiah. Yeah, yeah, we were just there. Isaiah 51. Uh, Isaiah 51 and 13. Oh, no, go back. Isaiah 51 and 13. It says, well, actually, let's start at 12. It says, "I, even I, am he that comforts you. Who are you that you should be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man which shall be made as grass? And forget Yah, your maker." Forget the Creator, your maker. Like, how do you forget your creator? How do we forget our maker? That's the weird part. It's like we think that we doing all the right stuff because we have gotten, this, that, or the third, or we've studied up on this and read that from this person and that person and studied up on this spirituality and that spirituality, and we know who the creator is. We know who the creator is, and it's the Queen of Heaven or this, that, and the third, and all of that stuff that we do. It's Christ, it's this, is Allah, and it's all of this, all of these different ideologies, these doctrines of man, to try to insert ourselves in the Creator's place instead of just trying to be on the level that we're on as humans. Like, we are not God, we are human, we are not the Creator. When you read, I believe it was Psalms 83, when it says you are gods but you die like men, you're not reading capital G gods, you're reading lowercase. You're made in the image and likeness of God, but you're not God. Do you understand? Like, seriously, we're not God. So how are we gonna tell the Creator what the Creator has for us and what the Creator is supposed to do and what not supposed to do? And we're not gonna go by this book because it's written by a man, and but we go by these other books though. I read plenty of books. Okay, we all do. I read plenty of books. I know about this book, I know about that book, I know about this book and that book and that. That's good. That's real good. And you're gonna keep doing what you're gonna do. Nobody's gonna convince you either. Nobody's gonna change you. But here's the thing: how are we gonna tell the Creator what the Creator has put in place for us and what the Creator has not put in place for us? How you gonna be given a manual and you don't even have to go by the book? You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to go by the book, but you gotta go by the laws. You gotta go by the laws, just like you follow man's law. See, look uh in verse 13 it says, and forget your creator, your maker. Forget the creator, your maker, that has stretched forth the heavens. Christ didn't stretch forth the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth. Christ did not lay the foundations of the earth, and has feared continually every day. This is us. We fear continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? Like, did the oppressor create you? Did Trump create you? Did Elon Musk create you? Is there a reason why we put man over the creator? Absolutely. It goes back to vanity and foolishness. Wanting to be accepted, by other people. We're always looking to be accepted, and that's normal. I want to be accepted. I'm not a pariah. I love people. I love people who are trying to do the right thing. I ain't gonna say I love everybody now, but it's just like, I just don't understand because I guess it's because I look at people just like that. I look at people like people. Like the song, people are people. You know what I'm saying? So people are people. So I'm not gonna put my life on the line. I'm not doing that. Now, if a baby needs help and you talking about physically putting my life on the line, that's different. But if we talking about spiritually, giving up my salvation to walk with people just so I can be accepted, so do what other people do, I'll pass on that. You can have it. I'm good. You can have it. You know, and I'm not gonna stop you or try to stop you. That would be foolish of me. Like, why would I try to stop somebody else from doing what they do? That ain't my life. But again, I don't expect anybody else to do that to me, right? I don't expect anybody else to do that to me. Try to change me because they want to make me believe what they believe and all this and all that. I'm just going to come to you with the truth, period. Like, whether you agree with it or not, whether you agree it's the truth or not, I'm just going to come with the truth. I'm gonna come to you with the truth when it's about me. I'm gonna come to the truth with you, to you with the truth. If it's about you, I'm gonna come with you, come to you about the truth. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm doing a live, but so I can tell you one thing. It's it's not easy trying to keep up with man's rules. You know what I'm saying? It ain't easy. It's a whole lot easier to just do the right thing. It is not easy trying to keep up with man, because man changes like the wind. Like there be a different trend this week, it'd be a whole fad next week. Like everything changes with the trends and everything changes. But the most high changes not. Let's go to Malachi 3 and 6. Malachi 3 and 6. It says, "For I am the creator. I am Yah. I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed." We're not consumed. So the Most High changes not. So we are not consumed, right? We're not utterly wiped off the face of the planet. The Most High made a covenant with our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, with the nation of Israel. The Most High made a covenant with us that the Most High would not wipe us off the face of the planet. Yes, a lot of us will die. A lot of us have died. A lot of us are dying as we speak. But the Most High changes not. So the covenant that our Creator made with our nation stands forever. And the Most High made some revisions to the covenant, because um, it's not going to be like the covenant of old, right? With our forefathers of old, the covenant has been improved. Praise Yah, and He's going to make us greater than even our fathers and mothers, right? He's going to make us even greater, an even greater nation. That's a blessing, right? So let me go back. Let me go back to. Oh yeah, and let's go over. No, I'll save that one. I will save that one because that's not even a part. That's not really a part of the same topic. Um. said you don't have to go by the book, you gotta go by the laws. I'm saying you ain't gotta read no stories. Like you ain't gotta read no Bible history, no history on Israel at all. Yeah, but you still gotta go by the laws. You can say, you know what? I hate that history. I hate that we went through all that and we turned against the alien. I don't go, but you still gotta go by laws. The laws don't change. The laws do not change, Israel. They do not change. They do not change. The laws will remain. So as long as you understand that, you're good. The Most High's laws are just. Like, who wouldn't want to go by the Most High's laws? I read these laws and I'm like, who wouldn't want to go by the Most High's laws? The Most High even has laws against rape. All of that. Like, people want to sit here and try to twist the word and try to, like, pervert it to where it, oh, this is what, oh, it was allowing this and allowing. The Most High wasn't allowing none of that. This is the hearts of men. Go back and read some of the stuff that y'all try to come at Hebrews with. Go back and read some of those full story. Read the whole chapter in context, and you determine, was this God speaking, or was this the heart of a man? Because Most High tells you that the hearts of men are desperately wicked, right? The word tells us that. The word tells us that. The Most High says he searches the heart. The word tells us hearts of men are evil. The Most High destroyed men because of their wicked hearts. The whole earth was flooded. And we know this to be true, right? So, whatever it is you want to come at somebody with, you better go back and read it in context. I don't care if it was King David that did it. They're still a man, right? The word tells you this is the character of men, the errors of men, the errors, the perverseness of man. Man does these things, not the Creator, not the Most High. He even told you that you have these evil, wicked men thinking to change laws. You got to be able to distinguish when Yah is talking and when man is acting out. Because man is acting out all through the word. That's why we in this situation. And that is why the world is the way it is today. The Most High already told you. Yeah, these things would happen. That's why people get confused and they're reading the word and they're like, oh, but this and this and he, oh my goodness, he was supposed to be righteous and he slept with his daughter-in-law. And yo, stop putting your faith in man. That's all I can tell you. Stop putting your faith in man. Yes, a man definitely did that. A man definitely did that. His name was Judah. Okay? So, you can't put that on the Most High. You still can't put that on the Most High. Is pure. Everything about the Most High is about righteousness. It's about being just. The Most High is not about all the stuff that man is about. Man is different. Look, let's go to hold on a second. Let's go to Isaiah 55. Let's go to Isaiah 55 and let's go to verse 7. Matter of fact, let's go to verse 6. It says, seek ye Yah, the Creator, while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, right? And let him return unto the Creator, and the Creator will have mercy upon him, and to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon. The Most High doing all the pardoning, not Trump, right? Verse 8 says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yah. For as the heavens are higher than earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So why would the Most High lower himself to become a man? Ask yourself that. Again, the Most High doesn't mention ever becoming a man throughout the whole Old Testament, the whole book of life. The Most High never, the whole book of YAH, because this is the book of YAH, the whole book of the Creator. The Most High never even hints to transforming into some type of a man and all this stuff that we try to put on a Creator. That's just not true. The Most High is higher than us. The Most High's thoughts, the Most High's ways. I mean, why wouldn't it be? You don't even know how you can't even explain how you got here. Some people say it was a big bang. They can't even explain it. So you know whatever created you is higher than you. So you can sit there and refuse to acknowledge that, but it's the truth. Whether you agree with it or not, it is what it is. You can choose to cross your fingers and plug your ears and not listen and not want to do the right thing. At the end of the day, it's not going to hurt nobody but you. In the end. Okay, hold up. All right. So, okay. I think I have explained myself enough. Um, I mean, there are other verses that we can talk about as far as Christ. I'd rather not. I really just don't enjoy this topic at all. Um, but if somebody comes to me and asks me, because I had somebody come to me and ask me the other day, because I was listening to my Hebrew music on my phone, and I was just outside, and they were asking me about my beliefs. And I talked to him, and I told him, and when are our people, you know? So that's my duty, that's my job. I told him, and I told him, I said, you know, I ain't trying to change nobody. I'm not trying to change you, but you know, if you come up to me and you ask me, I will let you know. But I don't go around trying to change people. That's just not my thing. Even though I've had people that, ever since I started serving my Creator, ever since I woke up to who I was, I've had many Christians come to me throughout my life about accepting their idol into my heart. And as much as it angers me, and I just want to shake them up and tell them to snap out of it, it's like, I don't know. I just let it go. I just let it go, and I just keep it moving because I know I'm gonna have to move on. Now, I know if you coming at me hard, I'm gonna definitely talk to you, and I'm definitely, because if you want me to sit on here and you want me to sit there on the phone or whatever, you want me to be on Facebook, you want me to listen to what you gotta say about Christ, then I'm definitely going to tell you about the Creator. But, just passing by and do you accept Christ in your heart? I just give them a quick no. No, quick no, keep it moving. No, I'm lying. I usually tell them why. I don't like to, but I usually do because I don't like having that long, drawn out conversation because it sometimes ends up in somebody wanting to argue with you over a disagreement. And I'm like, just because we have a disagreement doesn't mean we have to end it in an argument. We can just agree to go our separate ways because I'm not trying to change you. You came to try to change me, remember? Right? And now you're frustrated and you're angry because you can't change me. And I had to learn that myself when I still had a hot, hot, hot temper in the States, especially because the States is like that. Most of us have a very hot temper and very little patience. That's just the way it is, right? And when you are hot headed and you have a temper and you want to come at somebody a certain way, and that's what I like about my people scattered all over the four corners. All of us are the same, but we're different. We all carry different traits, and a lot of our people in the Caribbean are very, how do I put this? For the most part, they respect their elders, they respect each other, you know? And it's not, I'm coming at you and I'm trying to drag you down type of thing. Now, I'm not saying you don't have individual. I don't know everybody that lives in the Caribbean, right? But when you encounter people, especially our people in the States, unfortunately, there's this mentality where we feel like we have to oppress one another, or we feel like if you ain't doing what we doing over here, you ain't this, you ain't that, or a lot of haters. You know what I mean? We got a lot of haters in the States when it comes to our people, and I think that's a really big problem. That's one of the reasons why we cannot come up. Is because we got a lot of our own people hating on each other, and that's a problem, man. You're supposed to be working together as a nation. I mean, we don't give each other the time of day. We curse our elders. A lot of us hate our children. And it's sickening, man. It's really sick to see. I mean, we got a lot of us don't even deal with our parents, don't even talk to our parents. And I'm saying, like, if you got a parent that was doing some abominable things to you as a child, I understand. Because I don't know everybody's situation. Everybody, they can, it's case by case. But you got some cases where people don't talk to each other over petty stuff. Now, why did you do this? And I ain't never talking to you again. And you supposed to be family? That's crazy. That's really, truly sad. That is really sad. Man, oh man, oh man. But again, we go back to that man looks at the countenance, man looks at appearance, and man does not look at the heart. The Most High judges the heart. And I know that's a lot of our people's problem. It goes back to the vanity. It goes back to the vanity. Let's go to let's go back to Jeremiah 4. I don't know if we ever went there. Jeremiah 4, KJV. And I have to say, when I met black people in the States that were cool, I kept in touch with them. You feel me? I kept in touch with them because it's rare to come by our people who are not hating on each other so hard. Like you get in a situation and you didn't even realize it was your so-called friend that put you in a situation. You thinking this person is for you and this person is your friend and all of that, and it's just like, what? Like, I didn't even, what is this about? You could have you could have grown up together. You could have gone to elementary school together. And this person just totally changed. This person just, you this is not the person you recognize. But you didn't realize all along that was never your friend. That was never your friend. Doing horrible things. They'll take you to another country just to destroy you, just to unalive you, to murder you, right? Look what happened to Shanquella. What was her last name? Robinson. Shanquella Robinson, right? They took they took a trip to Mexico. They went all the way to Mexico just to kill their so-called friend. And we'll do stuff like that. That's horrible. It's like, and then we turn around and when things start to fall apart and you need each other, what we gonna do? Because you can't think that the oppressor is gonna rule forever and just be comfortable and think, oh well, we'll be fine. This nation will never fall. Do you see the stuff happening in that nation? If it didn't fall, I would say we were in hell. Seriously. So then we go to Jeremiah 4, where it says, if you will return, O Israel, saith Yah, return unto me. Verse 1. And if you will put away your abominations out of my sight, then shall you not remove. And you shall swear, the Creator liveth, Yah liveth, in truth, in judgment, and in righteousness. And the nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him shall they glory. Verse 3. For thus saith Yah to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns. Circumcise yourselves to the Creator, and take away the foreskins of your heart, ye men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. The Most High tells us how evil we are as a nation, as a people, because of the evil of your doings. Verse 5. Declare ye in Judah, and publish in Jerusalem, and say, blow ye the trumpet in the land. Cry, gather together, and say, assemble yourselves, and let us go into the defenced cities. Set up the standard toward Zion. Retire, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north, and a great destruction. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. Do you hear this? The destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. Most High was warning us of our fall in this last captivity. He is gone forth from his place to make your land desolate, and your cities shall be laid waste, without an inhabitant. That's what happened to our land. Our land was lost just like our nation was lost. and scattered. Our nation was scattered to the four corners. Verse 8 says, "For this gird you or sorry, for this gird you with sackcloth, lament and howl, for the fierce anger of Yah is not turned back from us. And it shall come to pass at that day, saith Yah, that the heart of the king shall perish, and the heart of the princes and the priest shall be astonished, and the prophets shall wander." They shall wonder. Verse 10 says, "Then said I, Ah, Master Elohim, surely you have greatly deceived this people and Jerusalem, saying, Ye shall have peace, whereas the sword reacheth unto the soul. At that time shall it be said to this people and to Jerusalem, A dry wind of the high places in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan nor to cleanse. Even a full wind from those places shall come unto me. Now also will I give sentence against them. Behold, he shall come up as clouds, and his chariots shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. O Jerusalem, wash your heart from wickedness, that you may be saved." Hold on. All right. That you may be saved. How long shall your vain thoughts lodge within you? For a voice declares from Dan, and publish affliction from Mount Ephraim. Make ye mention to the nations. Behold, publish against Jerusalem that watchers come from a far country, and give out their voice against the cities of Judah. As keepers of a field are they against her round about, because she has been rebellious against me, saith Yah. Your way and your doings have procured these things unto you. This is your wickedness, because it is bitter, because it reached into your heart. My bowels, I am pained at my very heart. My heart makes a noise in me. I cannot hold my peace, because you have heard, O my soul, the song of the trumpet, the alarm of war. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for the whole land is spoiled. Suddenly are my tents spoiled, and my curtains in a moment. In verse 21, how long shall I see the standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. So how can we all be right in our own eyes? How can we say we're doing the right thing? We're wise to do evil, but to do good we have no knowledge. And as a nation, that is true. As a nation, we have no knowledge of doing good. A lot of us raise our children to commit crimes, to be evil. And the parents are no good, and the children are no good. So, a lot of us do that. And that's horrible, because that's not even giving the child a chance. Then you go to verse 23, it says, I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form and void, and the heavens, and they had no light. Who was there when that was happening? It certainly wasn't us. It certainly wasn't Christ either. Who was there when the Most High was there, when the earth was without form and void? and the heavens had no light. 24. I beheld the mountains, and lo, they trembled, and all the hills moved lightly. I beheld, and lo, there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens were fled. I beheld, and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness, and all the cities thereof were broken down at the presence of the Creator by his fierce anger. For thus has the Most High said, the whole land shall be desolate, yet will I not make a full end. For this shall the earth mourn, and the heavens above be black, because I have spoken it. I have purposed it, and will not repent, neither will I turn back from it. The whole city shall flee for the noise of the horsemen and bowmen. They shall go into thickets, and climb up upon the rocks. Every city shall be forsaken, and not a man dwell therein. And when you are spoiled, what will you do? When they rob you, what you gonna do? Though you clothe yourself with crimson, though you deck you with ornaments of gold, though you rent your face with painting, in vain shall you make yourself fair. Your lovers will despise you, they will seek your life. For I have heard a voice as of a woman in travail, and the anguish as of her that bring forth her first child, the voice of the daughter of Zion, that bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hands, saying, Woe is me now, for my soul is wearied because of murderers. So there is nothing that we can do when the Most High decides that the Most High is ready to destroy us because of our wickedness. I mean, wouldn't you want to destroy wickedness? If you're not wicked, you would want to destroy it too. You would destroy wickedness if you had the power to destroy all of the wicked. So, of course, there's laws and rules in place for man. Because if the Most High didn't put laws in place for us, we would be probably already dead by now. We would probably already be extinct by now if we didn't have rules and laws. So yes, we need that. We don't need to just be out here just, oh, I do this and this is what I do, and they do that and this is, and you can do that because you have a choice, but there's consequences for everything. In the end, there's consequences, and the end is upon us. We are in the latter end of this kingdom. So then we go to Isaiah 53. And a lot of Christians like to say that Isaiah 53 is about Christ, but Isaiah 53 is not about Christ. And this will be the last thing I go over before I end the video, because I don't want to talk about this topic too much more. But Isaiah 53 and verse 1. Who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Creator revealed? Well, let's see. Let us see. Psalm 89. Okay. It says in Psalm 89, verse 20, I have found David, my servant. With my holy oil have I anointed him. Verse 21, with whom my hand shall be established. My arm also shall strengthen him. So that is for King David, right? The first verse of Isaiah 53. Who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yah revealed? Right? Then we go to verse 2, and it says, for he shall grow up before me as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He has no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Right? We should not desire him. That means we have no desire to want to follow behind this person. Right? We don't want to follow behind this person. He is despised and rejected of men. But we just read in the New Testament where Christ had multitudes upon multitudes of people following him. Multitudes. So it can't be Christ because he's not despised and rejected of men. A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Had no respect for him at all or anything. You know what this really sounds like to me? It sounds like a black man. It does. It sounds like a black man. It does. Okay, so then we go to verse 4, and it says, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, and he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So can you think about all the times when our ancestors in slavery were bruised and wounded, right? For the iniquities of someone else. Wounded. But notice how it doesn't say that he will die for your sins. It never, ever, ever says that he's going to die for your sins, because the Most High does not do human sacrifice. So then we look at verse 6, and it says, all we like sheep have gone astray. All we like sheep. It's talking about Israel, y'all. It doesn't say Christ like sheep. It says all That's plural. That's more than one. All we like sheep, this is us, our people, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And Yah has laid on him the iniquity of us all. You see? He was oppressed. Still sounds like a black man. Does that still sound like a black man? It still sounds like a black man to me. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Now, I can go somewhere and prove to you where Christ opened his mouth not once but twice. Not once but twice. And I wrote these down. That's what happened when you be writing down so much information. You get lost, y'all. You get lost. Okay. So first, let's go to Luke 23. Now, why is it not up here? Luke 23 and verse 3. And it says, and Pilate asked him, saying, are you the king of the Jews? And he answered him and said, thou sayest it. Now, there was another moment where he spoke right before that, or not before that, but said that very thing right before his crucifixion. But then you go to Luke 22 and verse 42, and Christ says, saying, Father, if you be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. So Christ is saying he doesn't want to bear this. He doesn't want to bear the pain, right? That comes with being a man. Now, who's going to sit here and tell me that God, he calls himself God, but he can't even handle the pain that man goes through? How does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? You don't even want to take on the burden of man. It's too much for you. But you call yourself God? But then you go to Genesis 18 Genesis 18 and verse 14, and this is the Old Testament, and the Most High says, is anything too hard for Yah? At the time appointed, I will return unto you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Is anything too hard for the Creator? So why is JC sitting there talking about take this cup from me? From me? He doesn't want to bear it. You can go to Jeremiah 32 too. Jeremiah 32 as well. And it says in verse 17, and Yah said, shall I hide from am I on the right? Okay, here it is. Jeremiah chapter 32 and verse 17 says, Master Elohim, behold, you have made the heaven and the earth by your great power and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for you. There it goes with his stretched out arm, which is revealed unto the nation, unto Israel, unto King David. Right? Nothing is too hard for Yah. Nothing is too hard for the Creator. Nothing is too hard for the Creator of the earth. So Christ spoke. He spoke. Now let me find the part where the verse in the New Testament where he says he's the King of the Jews before his crucifixion. Otherwise, I'm speaking lies, because I must have only seen it one time and it wasn't in there twice. I told you I'm writing all this stuff down because I want to be able to confirm what I said, and if I can't confirm it, it ain't true. Okay? So I just want to make that point real quick, just to show you when he was telling you to take the cup from him, he couldn't handle it. The Most High said nothing is too hard for him. Is it Mark? Mark. So we got Luke and we got Mark. Ah, yes, 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 yes. This is the story where they're talking about crucifying him in verse 14. In Mark chapter 15, verse 14, and it says, then Pilate said unto them, why? What evil has he done? And they cried out the more exceedingly, crucify him. Right? So this is when they ready to kill him, right? So go back to verse 2. And Pilate asked him, are you the king of the Jews? And he answering, saying unto them, you sayest it. You sayest it. But it says, when you go back to Isaiah 53, he was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb. So he opened not his mouth. A sheep, that sheep didn't know what was going on. So how's he going to then say, yes, I'm the king of the Jews? I know exactly what's happening. I know exactly who I am. No, it says, as a sheep before her shearers is dumb. That means you don't know something, right? So he opened not his mouth. So you cannot tell me that this is Christ. You go to verse 8 and it says, he was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased Yah to bruise him. It didn't say kill him. It didn't say crucify him. It didn't say sacrifice him. He has put him to grief when you shall make his soul an offering for sin. He shall see his seed. That's another point. He shall see his seed. Christ doesn't have a seed. Christ doesn't have a seed. He doesn't have children. He doesn't have descendants. It says, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yah shall prosper in his hand. Christ never mentions that he's going to ever have descendants or a seed. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. Look at the pattern. Black people have been bearing the iniquities of all since we've been in these captivities, especially this final captivity that we've been in. We have been bearing the iniquities. You can see it. That's why we're at the bottom, because the burden is so heavy to bear. People see us and look down on us. Therefore, but it's talking about the righteous servant justify many. The righteous servant is much different than just regular Israel, right? That's why it says, bear their iniquities. Their iniquities. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he has poured out his soul unto death. And he has numbered with the transgressors, or was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. So If this is not Christ, then who is this talking about? Because Christ doesn't have a seed. This is not Christ. And it says at the very bottom that he even poured his soul out unto death. He even poured his soul out unto death. That's great suffering. Even giving up your life. Self-sacrifice. Christ did not self-sacrifice. He was sacrificed. Somebody else sacrificed him. It wasn't self-sacrificed. When you put yourself out there so much for someone else that it you put your own life at risk to save someone else, to help someone else. You go out in the deep water to save somebody else from drowning. That's self-sacrifice. It's not, oh, we about to drag him and crucify him. That's not self-sacrifice. That's the mind of a man. Well, I guess since it says he poured out his soul to death, it means that we had to grab him up and we had to sacrifice him. We had to go and we had to kill him. No. He put himself out there. Just like Moses. When Moses said if he couldn't be with his people, he didn't even want to be written in the book of life. He didn't even want to be in the book of life if he couldn't be with his people. That's self-sacrifice. That's not getting dragged down the alley out of somewhere and somebody push you up on a tree and hang you. Or like they say in the modern translations that he was on a cross. He was sacrificed on a cross. Like that is not self-sacrifice. That is called human sacrifice. That's somebody who's sacrificing a human because they want all of their sins washed away. I'm going to put this human up and kill them because I want my sins. That is what the Most High commanded us not to do. That's totally different from self-sacrifice. And they're telling you this is why he went up on the cross. And they killed him because they claimed that he was of the devil and all these things, and they were hating on him and all of this. But he had multitudes of people who followed him. The man in Isaiah 53 was greatly despised by men. Despised, hated by men. He didn't have multitudes upon multitudes upon multitudes upon. He ain't no multitudes following him. The Most High does not have pleasure in killing his son. The Most High doesn't have pleasure in that. And the Most High doesn't even have pleasure in killing the wicked. So let's go to, because a lot of folks like to say that there is a lineage mentioned for Christ in Luke chapter 3, right? In Luke chapter 3. Let's go to Luke chapter 3. And let's go all the way down to verse 23. So, verse 23 says, "And Christ himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli," right? So, it goes through the whole bloodline, the whole lineage, supposedly, of who Christ came through. And you have to ask yourself, how does Christ have a lineage through Joseph when he came through Mary? How does how does Christ have a lineage through Joseph when he came through Mary? And supposedly through immaculate conception. So that means Joseph didn't have anything to do with it. But let's get into the lineage. So it talks about Joseph being the father of Christ, right? So we go down, 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 down till we get to verse 30. And it says, "Which was the son of Simeon or Simon, which was the son of Judah, which was the son of Joseph, which was the son of Jonan, which was the son of Eliakim." And then verse 31 says, "Which was the son of Maliah, which was the son of Menon, which was the son of Mattatha, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David." Supposedly, this Nathan, because you have to go back to the lineage prior to this to debunk this very verse, right? So if you go back, let's go to let's go to Nathan, and who is David's son, because they claim that this Nathan is a different Nathan than the Nathan in the Old Testament, but that Nathan was never mentioned in the Old Testament. So where does that even come? Like, where does this tie into uh Christ? Because these are made up characters. These are not characters that came from the Old Testament. Nathan's sons would be Zabud and Azariah, right? And that's according, I thought I wrote that down. Zabud and Azariah. That's 1 Kings 4 and 5. So let me put 1 Kings 4 and 5. So 1 Kings chapter 4 verse 5, it'll tell you, "And Azariah the son of Nathan was over the officers, and Zabud the son of Nathan was the principal officer and the king's friend." These were the only sons of Nathan that were mentioned in the Old Testament. So then we go to the New Testament in verse 31, where we left off in Luke chapter 3, and there's a new son of Nathan that's mentioned, because there was no Mattatha mentioned in the Old Testament at all, anywhere. So you mean to tell me not only was Christ not mentioned, but some of the sons in the lineage were not mentioned in the old what am I trying to think of? Etymology? Right? So, hold on one second. No, that's not the word I was trying to think of. What is the word I'm trying to think of? Not lineage. It's not lineage. It's the old. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I'm just gonna say lineage. The old lineage, right? There is no um, Matatha mentioned. You don't see Matatha mentioned anywhere in the Old Testament, just like you don't see Christ mentioned anywhere in the Old Testament. And then it goes on to make up more people, Manan and Malek, and all these names after. That's how they tied Christ to David. They made up these names, these Matata, and you'll see that there's a lot of them that have the same names. Just going through, and I'm just like, it's just, y'all just ran out of names. Y'all just keep reusing Matata. Okay, you're gonna keep reusing that one and reusing that one and reusing that one. I don't know whose lineage this is, but it ain't David's. So then it says, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, which was the son of Jesse. Then it gets the lineage right back on track. You see how they tried to stitch it up there? They're trying to stitch it into our history. They're trying to stitch it into our lineage. Stitch themselves into our lineage. Like a grifter. It tied a made up character into our lineage. Nathan doesn't have a son named Matata in the Old Testament. It didn't even mention the other sons of Nathan. Why? Because it would have been a lie. Because you wouldn't have been able to tie those lies without doing that right there into our history. That's what you call culture vulturism. That's a culture vulture. They take what you got and claim it as their own and say, now it's our lineage. Now it's our history. Now it's our identity. Now it's our blessing. So I just wanted to point those things out. That's just a few of the reasons why. That's just some of the reasons why. Because we go over everything, we gonna be up all night. We just gonna be up all night, and that's real. And I don't feel like being up all night talking about why I don't serve Christ. But just so we're clear, and so that everyone knows not to come to me asking me about Christ, I'm just letting you know I do not serve Christ. That is not my God. It will never be my God. I praise Yah. I praise the true and living Elohim, and that is the only one that I praise. And Yah is one. Yah is one, not three. But like I said, matter of fact, let's go over that. Let's go over that. Hold on a second. Hold up. It says in Deuteronomy 6 and 4, hear, O Israel. The Most High wants you to hear this. In Deuteronomy 6 and 4, it says, hear, O Israel. Yah, the Creator, our Elohim, is one God, one Creator, one, one, not three. You cannot make the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost One. You cannot say 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Period. That's a different book, different God, different ideology. It's totally different. It is the polar opposite of our history. It's the polar opposite of our law. It's the polar opposite of our spirituality, the polar opposite of our government and our beliefs and all of that. You talking about a book that tells us that we can eat anything we want to eat. And the Most High gave us dietary laws. And that doesn't change. It doesn't change. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to end it with that. And I will make another video soon. Praise the Almighty YAH. I hope you continue having a good night, and shalom.